Today I want to talk a little bit about electrolytes before we move into setting intentions for the next week. We have a whole new week ahead of us, which means new opportunities. Every day you wake up in the morning, it's a clean slate. You may think your life isn't like that, but when you separate all of your limiting mindsets and beliefs, you realize that every day you wake up, you have a clean slate to change, to add, to evolve, whatever it is. And that's why we look at our life from a different perspective, our own perspective, not through the lens of social media, not through the lens of fads and trends or what society keeps telling us or trying to put us into boxes to all behave the same as unique as humans when we're all actually bio-individual different people. First, I want to talk about electrolytes because there's this new trend and fad of electrolytes being misused amidst children, teenagers, adults, and we need to understand electrolytes are great for us. Number one, what are electrolytes? Electrolytes are minerals that carry an electric charge through that amazing body of yours. It's required for fluid balance everywhere, in your cells, in your lungs, in your heart, everywhere. Which is why sometimes you have water in your lungs, you have fluids in the wrong place. There is an issue with your electrolytes as well and an underlying disease. These minerals that carry an electric charge are also required for nerve signaling, which is everything. Everything requires signaling from the brain to a nerve to a muscle, which brings us to the third function. These are the main functions of electrolytes: muscle contraction, which is why if you're low on electrolytes, or athletes, they get these spasms or they get these complete, cramping of the muscles and stuff like that when they're low on electrolytes because they're sweating a lot. Now, certain conditions and diseases, when are electrolytes actually given to a patient? Number one, you're severely dehydrated. Number two, maybe you're an athlete and you're sweating a lot. Like I'm talking about a lot. You're not just standing in the sun for 10 minutes and sweating. I'm not talking about that. We don't need electrolytes for that. Or you're going through treatments like certain chemotherapies, you have food poisoning, you have diarrhea, you have IBS, you have IBD, and you're losing a lot of fluids. Or because of certain medical conditions, you're on diuretics. Or some people misuse diuretics because they think they lose weight. Diuretics push out excess water from the body and you kind of shrink up a little bit so you can fit into your clothes, but you have no idea the harm that you're causing to your kidney because diuretics will also push out and upset the electrolyte balance in your body. Now, when you know that then you have congenital heart failure. This is when you would have a fluid imbalance and you may need electrolytes. Of course, CKD, chronic kidney disease. These are like conditions when you need it. That now brings you to a lens that I want to put onto all of you with common sense. So do we really need electrolytes if we don't have those problems? Do your kids need electrolytes if they don't have those problems? Do teenagers need those electrolytes if they don't have that problem? No, right? It's common sense. If you have the problem, you take it. And then you have all these ads showing you that, you're sweating it out and so, yeah. Athletes, pro athletes who are constantly sweating can do very well on electrolytes. If your kids are really playing out there and they would take a simple electrolyte, not the crap electrolyte that's filled with caffeine and a whole lot of sugar and actually very little electrolytes, very low sodium but more potassium, which doesn't really serve because when we're sweating, what are we losing? We're losing sodium. And most electrolytes don't even have most of the commercially available electrolytes, very few of them have the right amount of sodium for you to replenish. The rest of them are called an electrolyte, but they're very low on sodium. So again, you find the marketplace flooded with these drinks filled with sugar, artificial color, artificial sweetener. It's not uncommon for us to have children who come to us with severe gut issues. Children who are now coming to us absolutely normal, but they're on the ADHD spectrum. Misbehaving, moving around too much in class. I don't even know why they term that as ADHD because many times it's just that the kid is too high on sugar. It isn't really ADHD. You stop the sports drinks, they get better. And of course, there are kids who have real problems. The point is, let's not become victims to these ads. Like I just explained to you, and if you go and sit down with your medical doctor, he will also or she will explain to you when the human body needs electrolytes. If you're dehydrated, you drink water. You don't drink electrolytes. If you're severely dehydrated, yes, you need an electrolyte. That's how it works. So that's the first thing I wanted to touch upon, because everyone out there, most people are feeding their young kids today all of this rubbish. And then they come to us with problems of, my kid's not growing, growth hormone issues, hormonal imbalance issues. And if you just break down most of these drinks, they're filled with crap that is not even fit to be called food or beverage. That's why it's got the word artificial in front of it. You see, artificial and natural cells in the human body don't go well together. There's no harmony. Your FDA studies may show that it breaks down to a certain level that is safe. But the FDA can't study what happens when it breaks down into one chemical and then another in your child's body or in an adult's body. So that's what you need to take care of, electrolytes. Please do not overdo it, because if you overdo it, your sodium levels can go too high, causing a medical issue. Your potassium levels can go too high, causing you a heart issue or a kidney issue. And sometimes if you already have a weak kidney, or you don't even have a weak kidney, but you're overdoing it on electrolytes, you can mess up your natural electrolyte balance, harming your kidney. As simple as that. These are not things that you play around with. Now let's set our intentions for the next week. A whole new week. What are we going to work on? Set one intention when it comes to your workouts. How many days? I want you to plan that tonight. How many days next week are you going to work out? And which workout are you going to do on which day? Write it down. That's the beauty of it. Write it down. Don't think about it tomorrow. Set your bedtime. Tonight, right up till Friday. I'm leaving the weekend for you. From Sunday night to Friday. What time are you getting into bed? And what time are you planning to wake up? Write it down. If you don't have a plan, you're going to have chaos. That's when it comes to sleep. Set an intention for your emotional wellness. Which part of your life are you struggling in right now? Does that part require you to probably meditate a little bit more? Maybe pray a little bit more, sit in silence, take a walk in nature, anything that can help you get emotionally healthier. I want you to set that intention and write it down. What are you going to do tomorrow, right up to the end of the week? And when it comes to your nutrition, have a plan right now. Do you have weddings next week? Do you have parties next week? If you have a lot of them, do you need to go for all of them? If yes, there are too many of them, how many are you planning to have your dinner at home and then go for the party? What kind of meals are you planning? What kind of meat? Try to plan it right now. Monday is going to be maybe vegetarian. Tuesday you're going to have fish or whatever it is. But plan it down. Where are you going to get your ingredients from? Where are you going to get your produce from? All this takes you less than 5 minutes to plan. But write down the plan. Because when you have a plan, that means you have an intention. This is my intention. Now, it may not go the way you want it to go next week. But hey, you're always better off with an intention rather than nothing. Because once tomorrow kicks in and your emails and everything else and social media and life, you're not going to remember anything. So set your intentions for next week today. That should be your Sunday homework every day, where you get to reflect on the week gone by, you get to practice gratitude, and you get to set your intentions for the next week. You may have some relationship intentions as well. My relationships next week. I want to intend to do this, spend some more time with this person, take this person out for a meal or for dinner or do something nice. Write down even random acts of kindness that you want to plan throughout the week. Maybe some surprise calls to someone who's missing you. Maybe give the gift of listening to someone who really needs it. Have a plan. The same way you have a plan for your shopping, you have a plan for your travel, you have a plan for your work, you have a plan for your socializing. Set your intentions for next week today. And have a good evening, everyone. Peace be with all of you.